This new third edition of David Clarke's book, Trojan Warriors, is now available from Amazon. It tells of David's call to help his brother Michael, who had been sent to prison in 1995 in the Philippines for a crime he did not commit. And 5 years after his sentence, being so ill and depressed, he too, like David 30 years earlier, called out to God for help. He believed the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, turned his back on his past lifestyle to follow Christ. Then, in 2001, David and Gordon Smith went on their first mission to the Philippines, called the Trojan Horse Mission, to help Michael, and in so doing it was arranged for them to preach the gospel to hundreds of prison inmates in New Bilibid Prison. New Bilibid Prison is the largest prison in Asia's Far East. Not only so, but they went on a tour of the other cities and district jails preaching the gospel of Christ to all kinds of men and women. This true story also tells of one former inmate, William Ola Pollock, who had served 14 years for a crime of homicide, who too had turned his life around and learned the gospel of Christ, after which he was commissioned by David and Michael Clarke as their first Trojan warrior in August 2002, that upon his release he should return to his own city in Baguio and preach the gospel to his family and friends and prisoners in Baguio City and Benguet district jails. David himself had been commissioned by the Beaton Stricton Particular Baptist Church in 1982 to go and preach the gospel to wherever the Lord opened the door for him to preach. This book contains the testimonies of 66 converted criminals who had turned their lives around from crime to follow Christ. The real good news is that we're about to publish William Pollock's story in his book entitled Called from Out of Darkness into His Marvellous Light. And the most recent news is that since August 2002, William and his helpers have founded and formed 10 affiliated churches, a theological institute, and formed a network of ex-convicts from New Bilibid Prison and other prisons, forming an association of ex-convicts who seek to preach the gospel, all started by William Pollock, who is the founding chairman of the association. My visit to the Philippines was postponed last year due to COVID lockdown, but, God willing, when the lockdown is lifted, we shall visit. Should anyone feel like joining us on this visit and visit the various prisons and give of their own testimony of salvation, just message me and we can discuss it. I seek to follow this video with a series of readings from the book Trojan Warriors. You'll find these stories very helpful and I hope interesting. Give me a thumbs up if you like this.